Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Monday, July 27th, 2020. The fire potential impacts for the next few days are shown here. We're looking for a mix of wet and dry thunderstorms to move through Nevada and western Utah and even up into far southern Idaho today. Then that moisture will continue moving northward through Idaho and remain in northern Utah on Tuesday, then kind of clearing out for the most part except across the far northeast by Wednesday. Not really looking for any widespread strong winds across the area, just winds associated with those thunderstorms. Yesterday we did see some thunderstorm activity over Nevada, and these thunderstorms in red and orange here are actually occurring this morning. So we'll watch as these thunderstorms continue to move further north throughout Nevada throughout the day today. And then yesterday, again, we did have some thunderstorms over the higher elevations here with some limited precipitation. Great Basin fire activity is shown here with the red dots showing new fires for the past 24 hours. Still seeing larger fires in northern Utah and northern Nevada, and a few IA fires up in Idaho and elsewhere across the region. Precipitation for the past 7 and 30 days is shown here. Over the past 7 days, we have seen a fair amount of precipitation move up into southern and southeast Utah, and then also some good precip over into southwest Idaho. The past 30 days, however, are still showing much below normal precipitation over central and southern Nevada, and even a pocket here over far western and southwest Utah. And the Uinta Basin has also been on the drier side. This is reflected in our current ERC values, where we're seeing this pocket of high ERC values from the 80th to the 96th percentile there in eastern Nevada and western Utah, where central and southern Utah have dropped down to below the 70th percentile, and areas further north are a little bit lower as well. But we'll continue to watch these areas that still have the highest potential for large fires. We are seeing the potential for large fires increasing over southern Idaho as well. So a closer look at those ERCs over south central Idaho. Those values are still below normal for the time of year, but will be increasing later this week as drier air moves in. And for northwest Utah, the values have been decreasing for the past couple of days with that increase in moisture across the area, but they are still above normal for the time of year. This morning's satellite imagery is showing a broad area of high pressure kind of off to the east, or the eastern half of the Great Basin anyway, and we'll see a little low pressure system move up into Northern California and Oregon today, drawing some moisture up through the Great Basin, and that's really what's kicking off thunderstorms this morning in southern Nevada, and what will continue to bring moisture and thunderstorm activity throughout Nevada for today, and then up into Idaho on tomorrow. So for today, we'll see those thunderstorms across much of Nevada into western Utah and even up far southwest Idaho. We do have high risk issued for this event, as these storms will be a mix of wet and dry. So we'll be looking for an increase in initial attack activity, certainly today, over much of Nevada, western Utah, and southwest Idaho. Closer look at where we're expecting that precipitation is shown here with the actual precipitation amounts. Still pretty light in terms of amounts for the most part, but some of those storms could carry a little bit higher precipitation values with them. So just showing the aerial extent of those thunderstorms, most of central and northern Nevada, and the higher elevations of Utah, even into the west deserts here, and then across far southwest Idaho. As for the winds, no large-scale winds are really expected, but anytime we have those drier, especially drier type thunderstorms, we can expect strong outflow winds associated with those storms. On Tuesday, the moisture moves further northward into Idaho, and lingering perhaps in northern Utah as well on Tuesday. So we'll continue to see those thunderstorms over the central Idaho mountains. They'll likely be have a better chance of producing some measurable precipitation, and our fuels aren't quite ready for high risk up there. So we just have high risk over the southern portion of Idaho, far northeast Nevada, and northwest Utah for Tuesday. And dryness begins to return to the southern Great Basin. So on Tuesday, again, here we're looking at those precipitation, the precipitation coming to Idaho, western Wyoming, and then just far northeast Nevada and northern Utah. These pink areas here, we're looking at over a ½ inch of precipitation. So in some areas we could see a good wetting rain, especially over the higher elevations. And for the winds, pretty light for the most part everywhere except in the vicinity of those thunderstorms. And on Wednesday, the thunderstorm activity really decreases. Most of the activity moves up into Montana and Wyoming out of the Great Basin as a ridge builds into the Great Basin, and we'll see dryness return to much of the area. So on Wednesday, really just expecting a chance for some thunderstorms right along our border with Wyoming and Nevada up there, or Wyoming and Montana up there. And then for relative humidities, we're going to see them beginning to drop down once again as the dry air builds back into the Great Basin. So single-digit relative humidity is expected over much of Nevada and some of the lower elevations of Utah by Wednesday. The three-day precipitation totals are shown here. Looking for some higher amounts over the central Idaho mountains, western Wyoming certainly, and then possibly the higher elevations of eastern Utah as the moisture moves through there. So still some drier pockets expected over southern Nevada and southwest Utah as we go through this event. For the second half of the work week, we'll expect that ridge to build back into the Great Basin, so some warm temperatures coming our way with generally sunny skies for the second half of the week. On Friday, much of the same, as there is a pretty good low pressure system off the Canadian coast there. It doesn't look like it's going to be impacting us much yet. So still hot and generally dry by Friday. We'll be watching this low or this high to see if any moisture does come up under that ridge and kick off any drier thunderstorms later in the week. Still looking for generally hot and dry conditions on Saturday and into Sunday, as well as that ridge remains the dominant feature across the Great Basin and the Rockies there. So hot and dry coming for the second half of the week, and most of the Great Basin turns back to brown with some yellows at the higher elevations as we head into August. The 7-day totals look just like the 3-day totals, as we'll be drying out for the second half of the period. And then the extended forecast for August 3rd through the 9th is calling for a chance for below normal temperatures across Montana and moving into the northern tip there of Idaho, but warm across Utah and Nevada. And below normal precipitation is expected for much of the geographic area for that heading into the first week of August. And this concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest.